Headlights go on and they go out. Away we go then. So with that clear track in front of him, Anton Landon was possibly able to capitalise. Let's see where he is by the time they get down to the first corner. It's certainly Andy Hiley that's leading the way. Dave Hughes in second. Darren Berris in the number 40 Westfield has got away quite nicely. He's up into third position ahead of Dave Hughes, who's going to lose out on the MEV lead as well to yesterday's class winner Stuart Murch, who took 5th place overall. But Andy Hiley getting a very good start to this race here, and he is pulling out quite an advantage.
Paul Collingwood, he had his arm out the cockpit as the cars went down to Clairvaux, and he's slowly heading round at the back, so we won't get that battle from yesterday. For second place, Darren Breris was trying to get alongside Anton Landon, couldn't quite make that stick, so Hiley may not quite have the competition of yesterday, because the two of them were 15 seconds ahead of Anton Landon. They go through the S's here. Well up the order is the Class B driver Andrew Hayward. He got lucky in 6th or 7th position there. But it's a 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. They're all together. The two MEV leaders, Dave Hughes back ahead of Stuart Murch, right on the tail of Darren Breris in the V8 powered Westfield. Yeah, shame to lose Paul Collingwood. Got the lap record yesterday and has shown a good form towards the end of last season. But there's Darren Berris and the David Hughes MEV. They were going alongside into the complex for the first time. And Berris just getting a wheel on the grass on the exit. That's allowed Hughes back through. So it's going to be Andy Hiley leading at the end of lap 1 from Anton Landon in 2nd. And then it's going to be Dave Hughes 3rd, who's got the V8 Westfield bearing down on him or getting alongside him. Will he get through on the way into Clairvaux Corner? I suspect he might. Well, actually, there's not a lot between it, and that supercharged BEV going pretty well too in the hands of Dave Hughes. It's been a bad start to the season for the champion from last year, Stuart Thompson. Probably not a good result yesterday, and he's in the pit lane at the end of one lap today. So into retirement, it would seem, with Stuart Thompson, the overall champion from last year. Yeah, he was saying yesterday that it took quite a lot of effort and money to get the car down to the Class B, up to the Class B weight limit for last season, but it was worthwhile with that champion that he took last year, the overall championship and the Class B championship. Meanwhile, this scrap still goes on for 3rd position. You've got the two MEVs in there of Dave Hughes and Stuart Murch. You've got Stuart Murch actually getting ahead there of Darren Berris as well in the Westfield. And then you've got Rob Johnson, number 82 in the Sala. He's right with them as well. They're quite a long way clear now of Andrew Hayward, who's leading in Class B at the moment. Yeah. Johnson's caught this group, hasn't he? Against Berris tries to fight back alongside Stuart Murch, but can't make that work. Last year, David Hughes took 5 of the wins in Class C. Stuart Murch took 7, so they had some great battles. And we saw contact there yesterday between 2 different cars. It wasn't quite as dramatic that time, but Stuart Murch and Darren Berris both wanted the same bit of road, and both lost out because of that bit of contact they had. Now, has that caused any damage to Berris's car? Well, it looks like he's heading down the straight well enough. So Dave Hughes now has Rob Johnston behind him as a result of all of that. Rob Johnston has got his way up into 4th position. He's been a race winner in the past, 49 years of age, from Stone in Staffordshire. Bought back this car from Mark Conroy and put a Ford Duratec engine in it. It had a Honda S2000 engine in it when Mark Conroy ran it. And he's under threat here from a twin MEV attack, isn't he? Down into Tower Corner. It's Stuart Murch that has got through. Looks like Dave Hughes might follow. Let's see how that pans out as they head to the Jim Clark S's. No, he's got himself in as the meat in the sandwich there as Rob Johnston. He had a big old slide, and that has allowed David Hughes through into 4th position. Behind them, I think Doug Hanna got ahead of Andrew Hayward to take the Class B lead at the start of the lap. So Hayward, who made that such a good start, has lost out to the Pro Comp of Doug Hanna. You just see that in the background as Rob Johnson's still fighting away with these Class C cars, much ahead of Hughes. Hughes is side by side with Johnston. Johnston on the outside, and Hughes defends up into the hairpin and therefore has 4th position once again. This is quite the battle. Yeah, absolutely right. Good scrap. There's very different types of car, aren't they? And that helps the MEV, of course, the kit car with the Mazda running gear. Meanwhile, up front here, and Andy Hiley's just set a new lap record. Collingwood lowered the lap record yesterday, but Hiley's gone even faster, 1:25.74.
Yeah, so that's an excellent lap time, 88 miles an hour average, that is, around this Croft circuit. Meanwhile, side by side between Rob Johnston and Dave Hughes once again. And Johnston, for the moment, is prevailing in this fight for 4th position. Darren Bevis is trying to get himself back on terms with them as well after that brush with Stuart Mutch a couple of laps ago. And behind them it is the Class B leader, Doug Hannah. Colin Benham, by the way, 3rd in Class B at the moment, former Sports Specialist champion.
So we're on lap 4. Heidi's just completed that, and Stuart Mutch is on the grass, heading out of Sunny, but that doesn't affect his position. Darren Berris is coming back into this battle, isn't he? So he's catching Rob Johnston. Not though, actually, behind all of them is Doug Hannah doing a great job in the Class B leading machine. He's done a 1:31.6, which is massively faster than he went yesterday, and therefore he has absolutely broken the lap record and lowered it by well in excess of a second. So Doug Hannah across the line there, he's found a lot of speed from yesterday, and a lot of speed we've ever seen from a Class B car.
Yeah, in a Pro Comp LA Gold. And yeah, he's a long way clear now of Andrew Hayward, about 5 seconds clear of him. So, well, Andy Hiley leading this race by 13 seconds, number 53, in the Kronos. Anton Landon in Lee Silent is second, number 64. And then it's this group that we see on screen. These 4 cars together, 2 Class C cars for Stuart Mutch and Dave Hughes, 2 Class A cars for Rob Johnston, the orange Sienna, the blue Westfield of Darren Barris. Then just in the back of shot behind them, about 2.5 seconds behind them, is Doug Hannah in the Pro Comp.
Heidi's gone even faster up front, a 1:25.38. So conditions good here. That record's being lowered and lowered, but this is a scrap for 3rd position. Stuart Mutch made that bold move down the inside to grab the lead of Class C. But David Hughes is trying to take it away from him, but he locks up into the complex, and that's going to allow Rob Johnston through into 4th position. So David Hughes challenging, but can't make the move work and actually loses out. So for Stuart Mutch, the driver from Gloucester, he's there in 3rd position overall, the director of MEV Cars, which he took over in 2019.
Johnston and Stuart Mutch alongside one another down the straight there, and it looks like Johnston has gone through into 3rd position then. So 3 Class A cars in the first 3 positions now. Stuart Mutch goes back to 4th position, but I have a feeling this race between them not over yet. It's very tightly matched between them. Rob Johnston with lots of experience under his belt, and some brisk F2 stock car racing as well between 1994 and 2004. He's been the Class A champion in Sports Specials, Class B champion as well.
I wondered, now he's ahead, whether he would be able to get away, but in a straight line, the MEVs was able to challenge and not quite get past Rob Johnston there. 1800cc turbocharged Mazda engines in the MEV for Rob Johnston, the 2-litre Duratec. And is Johnston then ahead in his own adapted Sienna Mark II? And is it this time Mutch's turn to perhaps lock up into the complex? But David Hughes breaks later and slides out wide. But hangs on to 5th actually, because Darren Berris dropped away from them from where he was at the start of the lap.
Yeah, Douglas Hannah in the Class B leading Pro Comp looks to be getting close to Darren Berris as well. If you stay with the shot, we'll see that, yeah, he's right with him now, isn't he? So they're coming up to the line, and I wonder if, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a change of position there for 6th overall. Douglas Hannah goes through, so I wonder if there is a problem for Darren Berris now, because his times are dropping away a bit.
And a Class A car shouldn't be passed by a Class B car in a straight line, so that would seem to be the case as they go through. Now Johnston is able to get away, he's sitting through that final complex. And he set, no, he didn't set a personal best actually on that last lap, but his best lap is about a second faster than the MEV, so that's going to let the Class C leaders battle it out to the end of the race. Stuart Much ahead of Dave Hughes. And their lap time is pretty much identical to Doug Hanna in the Pro Comp Class B leading car. Andrew Hayward still second in Class B. Colin Benham in third. So this is the best battle, I think, isn't it, for the Class C lead between Much and Hughes, this battle that we saw so many times last year. Stuart Much, the 45-year-old ahead, as they turn into the complex for the 7th time of asking in this race. And Much runs wide for the right hand, a huge amounts of opposite lock. You can really see the drivers working the wheel in these open cockpit cars, have to adjust the line as they're wheel to wheel into the hairpin. The outside line for the hairpin, though, really doesn't work, does it, for anybody, any category? It's not a move that is really on. And equally, it's not really a corner you can get a cutback on either. Quite a unique corner here at Croft Circuit to end the lap. So Stuart Much again has opposite lock, and this time David Hughes has a chance, but he realises it's just a chicane. There's not room to go side by side through there. Perhaps the exit of the corner, Ian, is the place where the position will change.
It has done, yeah. He's gone through Dave Hughes now, ex-Formula V racer, up into 4th position in the Class C lead, of course. Half a dozen of these Class C MEVs this weekend. Mickey Scott 3rd, a bit further back down the order. Gerard O'Donoghue is 4th. They changed for 11th place on that lap. Alan Robinson getting ahead of Martin Hayward for 4th place in Class B as well. But continuing to watch these two MEV MX150Rs at Sunny. Dave Hughes number 76 ahead of Stuart Much number 7 with 3 minutes of the race left to go, and the leader Andy Hiley, he is well out in front and very much in among the traffic now as well.
Through the complex, lap number 8 about to be completed. Watch the hands at work for the Class C leader Dave Hughes. Then Stuart Much behind, lots of lock needed into the hairpin to the left, and then out of the hairpin to the right as oversteer, opposite lock is applied. And down towards Clairvaux, so the new Class C leader, David Hughes. There's a bit of understeer through there. You really have to work at these cars, don't you, to get them round the circuit quickly. They look like a handful, but the drivers enjoy racing, and they're pretty quick cars too. Best lap of 1:31.0 for Hughes, which isn't quite as quick as they went last year. Probably because they're battling so hard in.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good scrap this for the Class C lead. They are, 40 seconds off the overall leader Andy Hiley now, so getting on for half a lap that would be. Still Hughes ahead of Much, the man behind FreakyParts, championship sponsor, heading through Sunny and down towards the complex once again, just going past our commentary box window is the 2nd place driver, Anton Landon. And he in turn is a long way clear of Rob Johnston in 3rd. Here is the fight between the two MEVs coming into complex and down towards the hairpin. Is Much going to get a better exit from Hughes here and go through on the exit of the corner? The answer to that question seems to be no.
It never seems to work, does it? That approach. Driving standards flag going out potentially to one of those drivers, because it was then withdrawn after they went through. And they've got a car to lap as they go into Hawthorne. That's another of the MEVs, I think, isn't it? One of the drivers with a novice cross. That's Neil Webb making his debut this weekend. The retired firefighter. So good to see new drivers coming out in Sport Specials and in one of these MEV kit cars. Darren Berris is still going, isn't he? He's just gone across the line now. He has dropped positions. He's now also behind Andrew Hayward. But on that last lap, the car was much quicker again after a good couple of laps of being well off the pace.
There's Andy Hiley. He's just going on to his last lap now. He's just lapped everyone up to including 11th place because he's gone past Alan Robinson in the number 26 car, who's 4th within Class B at the moment in his Silver Phoenix. So Andy Hiley now at Hawthorn working his final lap of the race, along with Cliff Anton Landon, who's just about gone through now for second place, 20 seconds behind the leader. But Hiley, lots of experience in this championship, in this Kronos, which initially he struggled to make work in this guise, but the reliability came eventually to match the pace, and he has a very successful few seasons with the car, winning the championship in 2019, 2020 and 2021.
Change to the lead in Class C through the hairpin. David Hughes outbraked himself and Stuart Much got up the inside, so they've traded positions on the start of their final lap. But for Andy Hiley, he's 20 seconds ahead. A very different race to yesterday, perhaps more of a race that we've traditionally been used to for those drivers. It's all been about that Class C battle that are working their way through the start of their last lap, and they're going to go side by side down towards Tower Bend. The outside line for Hughes, the inside line for Much. Can Hughes get the position back here? Much is late on the brakes and hangs on for now.
Meanwhile, Andy Hiley is out of the hairpin for the final time, heading up towards the finish line. And he takes the checkered flag. Andy Hiley does the double at Croft this weekend in his home county of Yorkshire. Andy Hiley takes the checkered flag, but still this battle going on amongst the MX 150Rs. So at the moment it's Stuart Much that's ahead. He's not going to be for much longer. He spins at Sunny, and that allows Dave Hughes to go through and take the lead. And that, I think, has resolved that battle in reasonably spectacular fashion. Meanwhile, Anton Landon has gone through to take second place, to 19 seconds behind the winner.
David Hughes has been given a 5-second track limit penalty according to the bottom of my timing screen. So is he going to be 5 seconds ahead?
Not quite, I don't think. So Rob Johnston is going to come across the line to complete the podium. He takes third place overall in the number 82 Sienna. And then it's about keeping on the gap between fourth David Hughes, who's not pushing on fast enough as he goes. He's just waving. He's waving to his team on the pit wall, but that will cost him. It will cost him because the gap is not going to be 5 seconds. What's it going to be? We're waiting for it to come up on the screen. It's just under 3 seconds, and he might have lost a couple of seconds there, easing off on the run through the line. What was his last lap time? It was a 1:35.44. He has no 1:31.03. Draw your own conclusions from that. So Stuart Much it will be that will get the Class C win, despite that spin at Sunny on the final lap.
So that didn't conclude the race as we thought it was. It was actually something that was done earlier, the track limit violations. So what actually was important, well, the other thing that was important there was how quickly Much recovered that, because as you said he was spinning, it suddenly then went in the right direction again, and he managed to get on with it. And then obviously the second thing that really concluded that one was when David Hughes shot himself in the foot a little bit by not pushing onto the line because he didn't know about the penalty. Obviously no pit-to-car radios here.
Just worth mentioning, Doug Hanna, it was that won Class B as well, with 6th place overall in the Pro Comp LA Gold. So let's have a look at the full results then of that Sports Specials race. We didn't see much of Andy Hiley. He was well out in front. We didn't have the challenge from Paul Collingwood, who retired on the opening lap. So 53, Andy Hiley the winner. From second, number 64, Anton Landon. In third place, it was 82, Rob Johnston. Dave Hughes, fourth across the line, but Stuart Much it will be that's classified as the Class C winner, because the 5-second penalty for Dave Hughes. So fourth to number 7, fifth to number 76. Then sixth was 158, our Class B winner, Doug Hanna. Seventh, number 27, Andrew Hayward, ahead of Darren Berris, ailing somewhat towards the end. Ninth, number 58, Mickey Scott, and Colin Benham, third in Class B, rounded out the top 10. Scott, by the way, was third in Class C. Alan Robertson, Gerard O'Donoghue, Martin Hayward and Sylvie Much ran down to 14th, Trevor Harbour 15th in the Caterham, and Neil Webb, the only other finisher in that FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship race. Still 4 more races to go here at Croft this afternoon. We've got the Aim Shop Master 7s, their second race of the day, up next. Likewise for the Absolute Alignment Sports 1000 Championship and the 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup. But we'll conclude the day with the Tagiwa Club Enduro Championship. That is due off in just over an hour and a half from now. Already we have the cars going out onto the grid for the next race of the day though, which is for the Yokohama Mazda 7 Championship. Not the Yokohama, the Aim Shop Mazda 7 Championship. I knew you'd do that at some point during the day. So we will have the third and final race for them coming up. Jonathan Lister it was that has had 2 wins already during the course of this weekend in the Yokohama Mazda 7s. And we'll see how the third race of the weekend pans out for those cars. That will be with us very shortly indeed. As I say, the cars already on their way out to the grid. Not sure whether we're going to get a chance to hear from our winners from the FreakyParts Sports Specials race with such a quick turnaround at the end of that race.
FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship race number 2 goes once again to Andy Hiley. Andy, very quickly, because we've got the Masters coming out already. A perfect weekend.
Yeah, it went better than I expected it was going to at the beginning of the weekend. So yes, absolutely fantastic, really.
Especially with so many changes made to the car, must feel great to see that they're working.
Yes, we've moved the car on as well. The car's a better car than it was last year, and eventually we could see it today. So yeah.
All right, great stuff. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out at a few other races throughout the year. Ian, Josh, let's get back up to you because it's the final race coming up for the M Shop Mazda 7s Championship.